All right, so now we turn to two of the most astute analysts of Republican politics in the history of politics, former Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour and South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Well, Senator Graham and Governor Barbour, don't you agree that that'd make a wonderful debate if we could get the two of them to sit down next Sunday morning? Senator Graham?
I agree that you're I think you're a dangerous man on TV. I think you've just sealed the deal there. That would be a wonderful debate on Face the Nation, and I would tune in and watch. I hope
All right. If you can help me and call Governor Romney, I think we can make this work. Senator Graham, what happened down there? Is South Carolina just too conservative for Mitt Romney, or is there a problem here that goes deeper in that with his campaign?
Well, John McCain won, Bob Dole won, not the most conservative people in the world, but good Americans who impressed South Carolinians of variety. Newt won. The debate Monday night in Myrtle Beach was probably the best explanation of conservatism in a bold fashion coming from Newt Gingrich I've heard in decades. And Newt not only won the debates, he convinced people that he could beat Barack Obama. And electability was the issue before South Carolina primary, during the primary, and on voting day. And Newt won. He's the guy that we saw, 40% of us, the best to go into the arena and beat Barack Obama. Governor Romney did fine. Rick Perry did very well. He had some stumbles by Romney. We had 600,000 people vote. The largest Republican primary in history occurred yesterday, and people were energized. They were looking close, and they picked Newt. This was Newt winning more than anybody else losing.
Are you ready to endorse him? Those were very complimentary words.
Well, here's what I am willing to say, that Newt Gingrich has changed a lot in a positive way. This immigration issue is tough for our party, tough for our country. And Newt's putting on the table an idea that once you secure your borders and control who gets a job, and you have to deal with the 12 million, we're going to have a rational system. Most of them will have to go back. But if you've had a lady who's been here 25 or 30 years and has done nothing but be part of the community, committed an immigration violation, we're going to give her a second look. She'll have to learn English, pay a fine. She can have legal status, not citizenship. That's a way of thinking that I think will help our party, because she may have a young son or a grandson who's in the Marines in Afghanistan, and I don't want a party who says to Sergeant Gonzalez, congratulations, you just won the Purple Heart. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deport your grandmother. I hope you get home before she leaves. Newt's putting on the table real solutions in a way today that he wouldn't have done in 1994. And that kind of maturing and thought, I think, is going to help the party and help him.
Well, let me turn to Governor Barbour here. Governor, you heard Newt Gingrich. He is painting Mitt Romney as the candidate of the Republican establishment. What I'm wondering, what is the Republican establishment these days?
Well, of course, the Republican Party is the conservative party of the United States, and the Democratic Party is the liberal party, becoming more liberal daily under the Obama administration. But ours is a very diverse party. You've got economic conservatives, social conservatives. About 60% of the people who voted in South Carolina are like me. They're evangelical Christians. But I was interested, and Lindsey touched on this, 2/3 of them said in the exit polls their first criteria was to vote for the person who had the best chance to beat Obama. And I think that's what most Republicans want. They're looking for the candidate, as Bill Buckley used to say years ago, we want the most conservative person who can win in November. And Newt was really helped by the fact that a lot of people who maybe didn't think he could win 3 months ago have come to that conclusion. Of course, if we'd have said 3 months ago that, Bob, that Mitt Romney was going to win the South Carolina primary, we'd all laughed at that too. So a little of this was according to Hoyle, but I think Newt had a great week, and debates really help him because, as Lindsey says, he can make it very plain why we're for the right things.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you now agree with the majority of those who said that they voted for Newt Gingrich, that he is the one now who has the best chance of beating Obama? Do you think that?
I think that remains to be seen, Bob. Lindsey mentioned Newt's become a much better candidate. He is tremendous in debate. He's the best debater by far, not close. Romney's strengths are more managerial. And Lord, there are a lot of people in the United States who understand we need some management after watching this administration for the last 3 years. We need somebody that knows how to get things done. Romney has, in my opinion, been very courageous to tackle the entitlement programs of the Obama administration. When the president makes his State of the State address this week, I predict he's going to say we need bigger government. We need more of people to be paid for by the government. We need more people to be taken care of by the government. And Romney's had the courage to say, no, that's a losing proposition in the long term. America's not based on an entitlement society, but an opportunity society. So I think both of them have something really strong to offer. A long primary season, I think, is healthy in many ways. As it gets personal, that's negative, but not nearly as negative as the Democrats are going to be. I mean, Obama can't run on his record. So he's going to make the Democrat, he's going to make the Republican, whoever it is, somebody that his grandmama wouldn't recognize or vote for.
Let me ask you this, Governor, before I let you go. You created quite a stir yourself when you left office and pardoned those 200 prisoners. Turned out that the vast majority of them, 180, some of them had already been released from jail. They weren't even in jail, a lot of them on dialysis. But I want to ask you, do you think in retrospect, do you regret the way that was handled? Could you have done that better?
Well, sure, we could have done it better because we had no idea that the reporting of it, and particularly some of the misstatements by political opponents, would let the public think we were letting 200-something people out of the penitentiary. We let 26 out of the penitentiary, and as you mentioned, half of them for health reasons. 189 of these people had been out. Most of them had been out for years and years and years. They're no more threat to the people in Mississippi now than they were the week before they got their pardon. But there's a handful that this is all about, and it is becoming public now that the Attorney General's office was very involved in this. In fact, if we had anything to do, I would have found out that the Attorney General's office had something to do with it and got somebody else to tend to it.
All right. Well, we have to leave it there. Thanks to both of you for that analysis this morning.